Hey, this is Helen Paradise from SoCal, and you are listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing. We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me!
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate Susie for wiener.
Oh, listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seed.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we are into the second hour. It is the Barbecue Central Show. The show is the show that covers the most important live fire barbecue and grilling topics of the day, week, and month. Quarter, sometimes. Sometimes the news cycle goes and goes and goes. Couple emails during the break. Greg, please retell the Denver cabin story. I'm not going to do that.
Get that big stuff out of here.
I'm not going to do that. If you missed the first hour, shame on you. You missed a great interview with Stephen Raichlen as we talked about the Man on Fire book. And then we had a equally as great debut interview with Emma Nguyen of the Culinary Charm. So if you missed it, A, where you been? Probably watching the Cavs and the Knicks game. B, don't worry. Make sure that you're settled in next week where we have not one but a 2-segment Jess Pryles. Also, we have an embedded correspondence next month because it is the fourth Tuesday. Programming note, the weekend after that, there will not be a show on the second. Is it the second? Whatever that first Tuesday in June is, we're not going to have a show there. Wow, what a swat. We will not have a show that very first Tuesday in June. I will be doing the Bahamian Mambo for the third year in a row. Lucky me. And you know me, well, I'm very excited to once again play International Traveler on that ass. The first thing I'm going to do on Monday, because we'll miss the balance of pool day at the Cove, is I'm going to run down to the male bathroom at the Cove and survey the floor underneath the urinals and see if there have been any better aiming progress made over the course of 365 days. B, have they installed the piss hog? And C, is there a collection of man cast off piss on the floor, and I can't have that. And don't worry, on the 9th, I will be back leading the show with the piss update from the Bahamas. I plan to have a magical time anyway. Through credit card points, we were able to upgrade flights at no charge, get a little Lapis Lounge in the Cove. Gonna have some fun there. It's gonna be a dynamite week of fun, sun, and frivolity. So not only the normal fun and frivolity, we're going to mix in sun, and we're going to have a great time. By the way, no kids. Thank goodness. One of my kids is in Puerto Rico right now, having her best vacation life. 2 weeks ago, a week at my parents' house in Sarasota, which might as well be equal to a high-grade Hilton stay or better at a minimum. And then 2 weeks after that, flying out to Puerto Rico until next Wednesday. Work much?
Get that big stuff out of here.
I'm going to move out of the house. Not if you vacation like you're the Kardashians, toots. You're going to be in my basement for life. And we're okay with that. Still to come on the show tonight, we have the likes of Susie and Todd Bulloch from Hey Girl Hey. Also, we have Todd Smith, who is the creator of the PoulTree. We say good evening to those of you watching tonight through one of our video streaming platforms. You can go to facebook.com/BBQ Central Show, or you could watch on YouTube, which is youtube.com/@BBQ Central Show. We have a new YouTube poll question of the week, and we're asking everybody this question. Would you rather have creamy or chunky peanut butter? And currently 78% of you now are saying creamy. 22% of you are saying chunky, and Stephen Raichlen likes chunky peanut butter, and Emma Nguyen says she wants chunky peanut butter, and your humble host wants chunky peanut butter as well. Those three palates should be dominating the majority of where people are voting, but oh no, you know me, love to be in the minority of everything for some reason. Even Bob Genevario or Genevario is saying creamy peanut butter, so lock it down to 79%. Coming up on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less this coming week, we have episode 434, taking you back to August 30th of 2022. In which will be the conclusion of a 4-part series. So fourth part of 4. Totally lost it. Just totally lost the words. The fourth part in a 4-week consecutive series that John has put together, where we have a burger cook-off recap there. Johnny Maggs, Mr. Jonathan, so Pit Life Barbecue and the Cigar Authority, or Two Guys Smoke Shop, respectively, depending on how you look at Mr. J. So that will conclude, and then we're going back to regularly scheduled programming after that. Don't forget you can subscribe to the show by visiting thebbqcentralshow.com/subscribe. And if you would like to hear a past guest or segment like our pal Braden did, who got a 4-part series done to him a whole month long, you can send John an email, John, Jon, at thebbqcentralshow.com, and he'll do his best to meet your expectation. Of course, we have our famous Dave's All-Star Barbecue Series. 2 events have taken place. Indianapolis and Rancho Cucamonga last month, end of last month, and Famous Dave's did take place this past weekend in Union Gap, Washington. They're taking the week off, and they are coming back on May 30th. So at the day that I am leaving for the Bahamas, they will be competing in Las Vegas. So look forward to that. If you would like more info or information, more information about upcoming locations of competition or past results, you can go to famousdaves.com/All-Star Barbecue Series, or All-Star BBQ Series specifically. Now, I want to take a few minutes and recognize the aforementioned Heath Hall. Oh, no! I'm just going to edit that out. I want to take a few minutes and recognize Heath Riles of Heath Riles Barbecue. Heath and his team are now the first back-to-back World Grand Championship winners in Memphis in May in over 40-plus years. By the way, only 2 teams have ever done it, and the last one was back in the 80s. Perhaps even more impressive than going back-to-back, which is highly impressive. This is now only the 3rd team ever in Memphis in May history going back-to-back. But perhaps more impressive than that is doing it in the ribs category. Technically, this is the hardest category to come out of because there are way more rib entrants than shoulder and way more rib entrants than whole hog cooks. Fun fact, Heath Riles and team have won the World Championship Ribs category for the past 3 years in a row. So while they have one overall world grand champion over shoulder and over whole hog with their ribs, they have won the world championship ribs category 26, 25, and 24. Within those within those circles, some would say he also should have won in 2024, but he didn't. So he's won the rib event 3 years in a row. Why not let me dazzle you with a little bit more rib knowledge? The ribs winner has pulled down World Grand Championship 3 out of the last 4 years, Polly. Keith with ribs the past 2 years, and then Ribdiculous won it in 2023. And for as hot as ribs have been lately, up until Ribdiculous winning it in 2023, the ribs category had a little bit of a drought. How about a 22-year drought? That's right. Good to see ribs coming in and getting their just respect at the Memphis in May finals. Again, 3 out of the last 4 years winning World Grand Championship after a 22-year hiatus when Ribdiculous brought it back into prominence. We'll see how that continues into 2027. Susie and Todd Bulloch are ready to go. And they have to be tired. They were also at Memphis in May. Good night. Well, buck up, campers, because do we have a fun-filled segment for you two? So why not do it? Stick around, be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, welcome back. Push this to the side here. Leading off the second hour tonight is the creator of the Hey Grill Hey brand of products, other sub-companies. Their second quarterly appearance here in the year 20 and 26. Susie and Todd Bulloch have made it back from Memphis in May. Hey, you two. Before we get going and recapping a bunch of different stuff, we do have the YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody. Todd, we'll start with you. Would you rather have creamy or chunky peanut butter?
Creamy.
Right. Susie, creamy or chunky?
Creamy.
Creamy. All right. Well, you'll be happy to know that 79% of the YouTube voting public is voting along with you two. They would also rather have creamy. However, your humble host, Emma Nguyen and Stephen Raichlen, all said they would rather have chunky. We need a little texture in our lives. Creamy is a little too weak for us. But, you know, we do have broad depths of palate that not everybody has risen to yet.
Right.
So one day...
I thought you'd say chunky for sure.
Can we all agree, though, that both descriptors are horrible?
Creamy or chunky, bad or worse.
It doesn't matter what texture you like. They're both named bad.
Yes. All right. So
I like moist peanut butter.
Why not smooth?
Why not smooth?
Smooth is way better.
But then what do you, I'm like, how are you going to better descript the other one? Textured peanut butter?
Crunchy?
Crunchy.
I think they do crunchy. Doesn't Skippy do crunchy peanut butter and Jif does...
yeah, crunchy is better than chunky.
Chunky, yeah.
And smooth is better than creamy.
All right, look, you two were recently at Memphis in May. Lots of things going on. So, Susie, let's start with you this time. Are you able to pick out 2 or 3 things that really stood out to you during the weekend?
Absolutely. I think we're all seeing it across social media, but the rapid adoption and expansion of the live fire cooking trend across the kind of overall barbecue subsector of the internet has been massive and rapid and awesome. And it's one thing, I think, to see it online. I mean, there are barbecue creators like Over the Fire Cooking, Derek Wolf, Al Fragoni, obviously, and several others that have really adopted this, live fire style of cooking as their main method of backyard cooking. And their social followings have grown massively. And it's really easy to see it on social media and think, wow, that looks so cool. But the actual in-person event aspect of it, the way that it brought people into Memphis in May and made it a more interactive experience versus just, Memphis in May historically, I think, was more of a private party for those in the know. Like, you didn't really go to Memphis in May as a spectator or an observer. You went to Memphis in May if you were buying the Kingsford Tour pit pass, or if you were cooking on a team, or if you were invited to one of the corporate parties. So to have the open fire experience and the live fire experience as part of a public way to engage with Memphis in May was new. And that was the hugest standout to me, was how engaged and involved the public was in that side of the event.
All right, Todd, I'm going to get to you here in a second, but wet blanket alert, Susie. I don't disagree that you're seeing this open fire rage over social media, and a lot of that has to do with Al Fragoni, some of the other people that you mentioned. My take is this. By the way, Weber brought out their Santa Maria style cooker. Blackstone brought it out a couple months before that. I know they're kind of one and the same, a little different variation on chassis and so forth, but big names bringing Santa Maria style cookers to the general public. That's a good thing too. My take is this. These people have really large followings on social media because they really like watching it, doing it. Way different. And I don't think the majority of people have tolerance, patience, the want of skill to bring an open fire cooker into their backyard, burn down logs, and shuffle around hot coals. I just don't buy it.
I think that's a huge part of bringing the public in to see it in real life. Because I agree with you. I think it's grown so huge on social media because it is so mystical
it's a
to
spectacle.
Watch.
Yes.
Absolutely a spectacle. And I think it feels even more intimidating than typical backyard barbecue.
Yes.
More intimidating than a smoker. More intimidating than a charcoal grill, for sure. But I think what they're doing by bringing the public in and actually getting them involved and feeding them samples off the table and having them watch pitmasters cook in front of them in real time, I think is helping to bridge that gap a little bit and kind of close that gap in terms of what you see on social media versus what's possible in real life. And I also think part of what's being sold in this live fire cooking trend as it grows is that analog style of cooking, the romanticized style of cooking, the sit in the backyard and pay attention to a piece of fire for 3 hours. There's something appealing to that. And it might be a smaller demographic for sure than, the convenience cookers that just want something quick and easy on a weeknight. Absolutely. But I think it does appeal to a certain demographic. And I do think there's a market for it. It'll be interesting to see how big that market is now that these names have started coming out with the grills. It'll show up in dollar signs for sure. But I think we're just at the beginning of it. I think it'll take it several more years for this to kind of flesh out and really develop to see what it becomes.
All right, Todd. So if you have any interjectory thoughts on the tail end of the live fire thing, and then circle back to maybe your top two events or top two memories of this past weekend's Memphis in May.
I think so I was able to judge the open fire meetup that Al hosted in October and almost got a judge this time, but I think I was like a reserve and didn't need to. But the cool thing about this competition is, all respect to KCBS and SCA and all that, but there is such a creative aspect to this. Like, you create a 4-course meal and you can add as many different intricacies and decoration, anything you want to. Like, it just feels, it's just a lot more, open to, be creative and think outside the box rather than fit into a box, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I will say, I think our views are a little bit skewed because we did spend all 3 days on the open fire side. Because we were cooking in the Duraflame tent with Team Yoder. And so we were very much tied to the live fire side. Whereas in previous years at Memphis in May, we've been on the barbecue competition side cooking whole hogs. So it was a completely different look at the event for us. And it was very fun to have that face-to-face with the public in a way that we didn't get to experience before. It was cool.
How much do you think you grew the Hey Grill Hey brand by being present at Memphis in May?
I don't know. That'll be hard to quantify, I think. One of the coolest things for me was seeing the teams using our Pitmaster gloves and being able to get people using our products and tasting our products in real time and being able to get that face-to-face feedback. You don't really get that. When you're submitting stuff to judging and you turn it in, you're lucky if a judge writes you a comment on a comment card, right? Your scores are kind of the only thing you have to go off of. And if it's flavor, was it too sweet? Was it too spicy? Was it too vinegary? Like, you just don't know because you don't get that feedback. But being able to engage with the public, we're getting real-time feedback on our products, real-time feedback on our flavors. So that was incredibly valuable as we continue to iterate and develop product and move forward into the grilling space. So for us, I think it was incredibly valuable. And we made some really great, partnerships, moving forward with some partnerships while we were out there. So for us, I think it was incredibly valuable to be there. But I don't know necessarily like everybody went home and all of a sudden like bought Hey Grill Hey sauces or gloves or whatever. But
yeah, I don't think we didn't really have like any branding up or anything other than like I was wearing a shirt and a hat every now and then. So yeah, we didn't have our own tent or anything like that. So I don't think that we can say that the brand grew, but yeah, for sure it was cool.
So does Duraflame bring you in for the weekend as like hired guns?
We actually, we just signed. I don't know if you know this, but we haven't had brand deals for a really long time. We didn't want to like dilute our messaging to our audience. We didn't want to constantly be doing sponsored work, and we generated revenue through other ways with our business. But the last couple of years, we decided if we're going to take on partnerships, they're going to be with people that make a lot of sense for our brand and that is symbiotic with the Hey Grill Hey brand, where we can help each other on the influencer side and also on the brand development side. So we partnered with our first brand ever in like 6 years with Weber last year. And we just signed for another year with Weber. So we'll be a Weber Grill Pro on their YouTube channel that's launching here in the next few weeks, which is great. We'll be doing weekly videos on the Weber YouTube channel. And then we partnered with Duraflame for 2 years, specifically to help promote a new char log that they're coming out with, which is a longer burning charcoal that's like a compressed charcoal with the hole in the middle that's
like
kind of like
char log that B&B charcoal makes?
Yeah, but the parent company is Duraflame for the B&B char logs. And so they're moving manufacturing to the United States for the Duraflame char logs. I know. So they'll have a more uniform size, a better burn, clean ingredients, and they're made here in the USA. So that's what we're going to be working with to promote and kind of bring that new style of charcoal instead of just the briquettes or the lump. It's kind of a third style of charcoal to the backyard. I
have been a long time proselytizer of the char log. I feel it's a widely underappreciated charcoal. When I had my offset cookers, I would supplement wood splits with 2 or 3 char logs. So to save on wood, especially if it was like wood I really loved, or I was running out of really good seasoned wood, I would supplement with the char logs. They work great. A little hard to get going first if you're just going to like load up the grill. But like once they're going, I mean, oh my God, these things are absolutely fabulous.
We love them. So we cooked with them for a couple of months and then they said, how do you feel about jumping on long term and teaching more people in the backyard about this third style of charcoal that's not just briquettes or lumps. We love cooking with them.
Yeah.
We kind of had the same result with it. Absolutely loved it. It's all we wanted to use. And we said, I think that makes a lot of sense. So we just filmed a video at Memphis in May of Todd carrying the char logs bag around Memphis in May and showing it the sights. And he put sunscreen on the little char log bag and sunscreen on himself. And they went backstage and it was great.
Yeah.
So that's how we announced our partnership with Duraflame at Memphis in May.
I feel like Todd might be redder than the bag.
He might be.
Yeah.
If we put him side by side, it's very much in the family.
That's why they chose me. Luckily, the Duraflame bag's more orange than red.
Yeah.
I will say, though, Todd actually had to sign the contract. He was in the contract. They didn't just want Susie of Hey Grill Hey. They wanted Todd and Susie. So he's a manfluencer now.
Manfluencer. Wow. That's the first time I've heard that. Good for you.
I'm trying to get my dance moves down.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, there's plenty of trends that you're going to have to get into and, execute, like you said, dance moves, all the fun stuff.
I don't know if barbecue talk is going to
take off.
Survive this.
No. Have you thought about like competing on your own as Hey Grill Hey at Memphis in May? Have you done that?
Oh my gosh, Todd would love that.
Yeah.
Someday.
Next year?
We will. I don't know.
Todd would love to get into the competitive barbecue world a little bit more for sure.
It's too difficult, man. We got too much going on. We got kids.
Wow, Todd, you're just giving me excuses, bro.
Hey,
someday, I really think we'll get there someday for sure.
That's like my retirement.
That's Todd's retirement plan.
Wow.
Is just to rent an RV and drive it around to barbecue competitions.
All right, so we got 5-6 minutes left. Let's talk about the item that, if we're being honest, I was the most instrumental in making happen for you, Susie, which is this book right here. So being self-published, what benchmarks did you have set in order to gauge success? By the way, the book, Backyard Barbecue Hero, that's Susie right there. And it is available for your purchase immediately, if not sooner. Go over to heygrillhey.com and wherever books are sold. So being self-published, if I get back to the question, what benchmarks do you set up to know what's successful and what isn't?
I mean, me was just getting it published.
Correct.
That feels like a win for me. I'm very excited. It exists.
You did it.
Because for me, it was a creative act, right? It was an act of like a lot of love and care to put all these recipes together and a ton of work to make it into something that I'm really proud of and that I think would be valuable to people. Todd probably has different benchmarks.
Mine was
my accountant.
Mine was finding the break-even point. That's what I cared about.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
all
barely.
right. Well, who cares?
Within the last week, I think we hit it.
It's not like you're almost pregnant. I mean, you're either there or you're not. So if you've hit it, you've hit it. Now we make money.
Now we make money.
All right. Yeah. That's our favorite part, is making money. I mean, is it too personal to ask like what you go into from a financial standpoint to self-publish? I mean, is it like 50 grand, 100 grand?
Do you really want to know?
I mean, I don't have any idea what it looks like.
I mean,
6 figures.
6 figures. Wow. Like with a 1 in front of it or a 2 in front of it?
A 1.
A 1? Yeah. Okay. I mean, I mean, regardless, that's, a lot of people don't make 100 grand a year, doing whatever they do for work.
Honestly, terrifying to place an order that large for something that you just created with recipes and just hoping like that people will still buy a book in today's day and age.
Yeah.
It felt like a crazy investment, but it was also something, we've talked about this for years, Greg, and you really have pushed. I think every quarter we've come on, it's been questions about the book. So to have you holding it itself feels like a feat.
We've hit the finish line there.
Impossible strength.
Yeah.
So.
Great job.
The exact numbers were somewhere around $75K to get the books ordered in here.
Yeah.
And including the little box that we put them in, like some extras, right? And then easily well over 25 grand in photography costs and food costs.
Oh,
and
right.
Paying a lady for a layout and to help us get it in the layout. That was 5 to 7 grand.
Shipping and tariffs.
We should have paid some people to help us that read it and edited it, but they wouldn't let us pay them.
Oh, those are the worst people. Wow. Well, I mean, it's here and it's available for sale. So you've done it. It's a legacy piece, obviously, for the kids too, and the grandkids and the great grandkids, whoever. I mean, everybody's going to know who Susie was, 50, 60, 70 years down the road. Have you been approached by real publishers now since the release of the first book to be like, hey, like, let's go for a second book. We can make this easier for you, blah, 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 or no?
I mean, we were approached before we even published the first book, and we interviewed so many literary agents and so many publishers, and that's actually what pushed us to self-publish. One of the biggest publishers in the United States reached out and said, hey, let's do a book. I sent them my proposal, and my brand has always been talking to the beginner, the backyard barbecue cook, the home cook. And they said, I just don't think we can sell a book like that. I don't think there's enough of an audience. We want the... we want the story, we want the complicated, we want the regional, we want the hyper-specific, because that's what's going to sell. And I said, well, I just don't care, because that's not who I talk to, and that's not who my audience is. And so I didn't want that oversight, in a way, of a publisher saying who I could talk to and who my book was for and who they could sell it to. So that's why we ended up self-publishing. It was a little bit of like friction between, I didn't want that on my, like, hanging over my head of telling me what kind of book I had to write and who I was writing it for. I knew my audience, and I know who I'm writing the book for, and I know why I'm writing the book. So I just leaned into the draft that I'd put together, and that's what we built Backyard Barbecue Hero on.
So since then, no outreach from...
No. Seems wildly short-sighted up front that the bigger consuming public is the one that always wants to know the basics, how to do the beginning stuff better. And that book would be tailor-made to a much broader audience versus something hyper-specific or just Texas-based or something unique.
Maybe 20 years ago, yes, but now less and less people are buying books, and the people that are buying books are usually buying it for hyper-specific reasons. People that are just seeking general knowledge will probably turn to the internet, which is fine, but I just feel like with AI growing and everything being so readily available and oftentimes like wrong, like having like a tangible book that you can hold that's been tested and referenced, I think that's important. We're getting kicked out.
No.
The book is cool. We love the book.
That was your playoff music.
We're getting hauled off. This is the award stage.
Yes. So you have your Emmy. It's called Backyard Barbecue Hero. Go to heygrillhey.com. That's right. Can you get it on Amazon and like all the other traditional booksellers too?
We keep selling out on Amazon.
Great.
So we're restocking. We have more going in. Hopefully we'll be restocked any day now. But yeah, we keep selling out. We keep sending more, and we keep selling out. So hopefully more on Amazon soon, but definitely on our website.
Also, if you live near a Shields, there's only like 35 of them in the nation, but
they're all carrying the book as well.
Shields has the book.
Great. And you did you do Barbecue University up there a couple of weeks ago or whatever that was?
Yeah, Todd was up there.
Yeah. Oh, Todd, yeah. Did you see Doug?
Todd got to be our pit master.
See our pal Doug Scheiding from Rogue Cookers?
Oh, yeah.
Rogue Cookers. Yeah.
We waved at each other at Memphis in May across a tent.
Yes. He's very busy. Yes. He's on the Home Depot stage. All right, we're talking with Susie and Todd Bulloch here. They were recounting Memphis in May this past weekend. We also talked about the book, which you should be buying copies of now for this holiday season, because who knows if there'll be any left by the holiday season, and you don't want anybody to be mad at you. So, Susie and Todd, always appreciate the time, and I guess we'll see you in August.
Yeah. Thanks, Greg.
All right. There they are, Susie and Todd Bulloch, having a great run of it right now. So the book is out. It's hot. Great read. Great beginner stuff. So if you have somebody that's just kind of getting into it right now, this is a highly recommended book. Go over to heygrillhey.com and order. Can't get it on Amazon right now, but they're trying to refill at this point. So if you only buy through Amazon, keep checking back. But otherwise, heygrillhey.com is the place to go. We're going to close the show tonight as the Cavs are puking back what is almost a 20-point lead to the Knicks in the closing minutes of the game. I can barely stand it, but I'm remaining very professional. We're going to close the show with Tony Smith coming up here in just a minute. We're going to talk about the PoulTree. So stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
And we thank Susie and Todd Bulloch for joining us last segment. HeyGrillHey.com is the place to go to get the book and the recipes and the products and all that great stuff that's happened. Good night. Folks, we love chicken, we love poultry in general, and we love simple ways to make it great. What's the simplest way? Maybe I have the answer for you as we close out the show here this evening. And we welcome first-time guest and the creator of the PoulTree, Toney Smith, joins us here on the show. Hey, Toney.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you here on the show. Before we get going, talking about PoulTree, we have a Would You Rather YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. Toney, would you rather have creamy or chunky peanut butter?
This is pretty easy for me, and I'm going to disagree with you as the host. I know that you have chosen chunky, or what was the other word that the
crunchy?
Previous guest? Yeah, I like to keep in my truck just for emergencies the squeeze pouch of Jif creamy peanut butter as a way to ensure that I don't have hunger pains as I'm cruising around. It's a very good peanut butter source. I keep it in my gear bag for when I go fishing. It's the creamy. You can't really squeeze the chunky out of those squeeze packs. So it's creamy for that, but that's also what my mom used when she made the best peanut butter cookies I ever had.
Sure. Well, 71% of the YouTube voting public, which is down about 6%, is also saying they would like creamy peanut butter if given the choice between the two. All right, so, genesis of the PoulTree here on this show has been probably over the last 4 to 5 weeks. It was originally introduced to me by a friend of show and Barbecue Central Show's guest Hall of Famer, Steve Ray, saying, you ever heard of PoulTree? And I'm like, yeah, it's a bird, it's a chicken. He's like, no, it's called the PoulTree. Sent me the website and raved about it. There it is, right there.
This.
Yeah, that's part of it.
It's the dumbest, simplest thing. And there are some folks on Facebook that will go like, they're machinists or whatever, and they go, hey, thanks for the idea. And, we're like, well, obviously it's a good idea. If you think it's a good idea, now you're going to go do it.
Yeah. So,
I think the emphasis of it is more interesting.
What's do you have culinary background, or like where do you find that PoulTree fits a niche?
I have a lot of both amateur and professional culinary background. I spent 12 years working with Nathan Miravold and the Modernist Cuisine team at Intellectual Ventures Lab. And I was exposed to a lot of scientific information around cooking, including live fire and pellet smoking and grilling and you name it. And there was a couple tenets that I took away from that, which one, you have to know your temperature, because Nathan and the whole modernist molecular gastronomy movement started with the sous vide approach to cooking something. So you have this really precise temperature control. And, let's say you do short ribs for 72 hours and cook them at 150 degrees or, whatever I think 60C is the recommended, 50 or 60C, something like that. And, you do it for 3 days and they're the most ridiculous short ribs you've ever had. They're so good.
You said 3 days.
But 3 days. 3 days. It's like one of the things I would do for Christmas.
Yeah.
I'd start it on a week beforehand and I'd get them going. And then, when it was all done, I'd take all the juices out of the sous vide bags and I'd reduce it down and make a pan sauce for the short ribs.
Sure.
But that was because modernist cuisine looked at the science of how to make food and why things worked, not just because so-and-so said to do it this way or so-and-so said to do it this way. When they did the bread book, what they discovered was there was a massive variance between one bread and another, even though they're technically the same breads, because people would do 70% hydration or 10%, or so there was so much variance. There was no standardization, and so they applied a real scientific method to the cooking. And the thing that I took from that was temperature is the most important component. Managing the temperature. So if you're a live fire enthusiast, knowing how to manage all of the different phases of combustion and getting yourself down to the glowing infrared emitting coals versus the, different levels of smoke that come off at different temperatures, and whether those are good smoke flavors or acrid smoke flavors. Like, all of that is the result of temperature, and that's super important. The grill that I use at home most often, I have a few different grills. I love the Green Egg, and I have a Weber kettle grill, but the grill I use most often is a Lynx 3-burner Trident all-sear.
Yep.
So it is entirely infrared heat, which is effectively what happens when you reduce any live fire down to its glowing embers. Then you're no longer dealing with the smoke flavor. You're dealing with infrared heat as its source. And that is a really important thing, I think, for people to understand when it comes to cooking. The heat source, how you're going to transfer that energy into the food you're going to eat is really super important. And this is where PoulTree takes advantage of convection heat transfer, because I have a really cool rotisserie setup, but God, is it a pain. I don't know if you've done rotisserie setups.
I don't do it specifically because of that. It's spatchcock, and that's it.
Yeah, it's messy, and not just for chicken. So Steve Ray, your guy that you had on the show, he did a pork loin on our PoulTree rod, and he did a prime rib on the PoulTree rod, and he texted me both photos and videos after he did it. He's like, "Toney, I'm telling you, this is the best." And what it does,
he's jamming a prime rib through the.
He drilled. He actually had a drill bit, and he drilled a hole through the prime rib. I was like, okay.
Yeah, he left that out when we were talking about it.
But it's the method of heat transfer. So when whatever you hang on this rod, which is suspended over a cast iron skillet, and I'll show you one that I got here. This is a Victoria cast iron skillet, and this is the only skillet that it works out of the pan. Like, I buy the skillet straight off the web or wherever, and this one, it fits in this keyhole without any modification. I didn't start with the Victoria pan. I started with the Lodge, and I went with Lodge because on Amazon they could deliver the 10-inch pan for $20.
Sure.
And you can't beat that. And I don't want to use a really nice heirloom pan on my grill and burn all of the seasoning off of it, because I'm going to cook it really hot. That's why this works, is I set the grill to high. And so my temperatures can get anywhere from 500 to 600 degrees ambient inside that where it's cooking. And because they're so high, there's a natural convection current that occurs. And so I don't need a fan. It's the temperature driving the convection. And that convection rotates around our chicken and causes the chicken to get super crispy, causes the breast to get done to I pull it off at 150, and the thigh up around 185, thigh and leg cooked to 185, collagen gets rendered, like all within a 45 to 60 minute window for an average 4 to 5 pound bird.
Wow.
And that's just for chicken. If you move up to the turkey version, it's usually 2 to 2.5 hours tops. But that's the benefit of the high heat. The high heat really makes this work. And as a result, I strongly discourage people from putting any vegetables or liquids in the pan, because you're robbing your bird of all of that essential heat. This effectively air fries your chicken. as opposed to roasting it. We call it the PoulTree chicken roaster, but it very well could be the air fryer.
And it's like both of these are key components. You can't just use the rod because then you don't have anything to attach it to. You can't stick it through an aluminum pan. You got to use the cast iron pan with the keyhole in order to really make this thing happen.
Well, we've come up with some solutions because not everybody wants to do that. So we came up with what we call our footrest. The footrest is a standalone stainless. You can see I've used it. It's a stainless steel device, and it's got a couple holes in it, and those holes sit like so. And the way it's designed, the weight sort of cantilevers on there, and your chicken just is supported. You could do this on a baking sheet. You could fit it into a large pan. You could do it on the griddle pan. The Lodge griddle pan works for this really well. And then just put an aluminum pan underneath it so that you don't have to deal with the mess. That's a good way to do it. So the cast iron gives you a bunch of radiant heat. And so that radiant heat radiates up into the breast and helps crisp the skin up and make it super delicious. The other option is we came up with what we call the Talon. And so this actually, I'll show you on this is a Lodge carbon steel pan here.
Yep.
And this just fits right over that handle. And it locks into place like so, and I can position it however I want. I can move this to change the height, and it fits right here on my carbon steel pan, no problem. This will fit on 90+% of pans. The only ones I think it won't work on are like Finex because they have that spring handle.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yep.
But I wouldn't want to use a $150 pan to cook this.
Yep.
I'd rather spend the $20 on, Amazon and get a nice Lodge pan or a Victoria pan and make that work. But that's kind of when we started this, we did it because we were like, hey, I had my wife and I were in Nice, France, 20 plus years ago, and we had the best chicken we ever had, which they served us in a paper bag. Like they handed it to us in a paper bag, and we went off. We had no utensils, and it was a half chicken, and it had been roasted in like a 500-degree oven. It was incredible. It was seasoned to perfection. It had crispy skin. It was juicy, and it was sort of my aha, like, hey, chicken has to be cooked in a really hot environment to make it really good. And the low and slow approach is good for things that have a lot of collagen and, the different muscle fibers, the dark muscle fibers like, pork butt and different cuts of chuck. But high and fast heat is generally really good on, it turns out so far, every version of PoulTree I've tried. And our name is kind of a play on the word poultry. It's Poultree because this is like a tree. The bird hangs on it.
How long has it been out for sale? Like how long have you been running it?
We had our first sale in September or October of 2024. And it was just sort of testing the waters. We had made 50 prototypes just to see what would happen. And they sold incredibly well. And then we were like, well, we gotta do something here.
Was there a specific posting somewhere, or did any influencer happen to mention it, and then it started to rock the ship a little bit more?
Yeah, there was an initial post by the Seattle food geek, Scott Heimendinger, and he had posted on his Threads account, and somebody on Reddit saw it, ordered one, and got one of the original 50 that we had sent out. And maybe 2 weeks later, it was like a Saturday. I remember because I was driving back from my son's soccer game, and I was listening to the Huskies play Oregon in a football game, and my phone just kept going ding, 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 and we just kept getting these orders in, and I had no idea where they were coming from. We had done zero social media work. We had done, we're just three guys trying to, figure out how to make this happen. And two of us have absolutely no idea how to do the social media platform. My business partner's brother, Ian, is the guy behind our social media stuff and setting our website up and actually our branding and logo and all of that. Dave and I are executing on the fulfillment and the logistics and the manufacturing and, the questions that get asked, trying to answer those and provide a level of service that, very few small businesses can really still do. And we're trying really hard to make this something that people are like, oh, we get what you're doing. So my biggest beef in this is that there are so many people that are like, it didn't work with our pan. Well, like it says so on, like if you buy the cheapest version of this product, you're going to have to do a little DIY and figure out how to get the hole to fit, because cast iron is cast. They don't standardize it. So I can't make it. I cannot guarantee that it will always work. And 3/8 is the diameter that we specify. But like not everything is done that way. The Victoria pan actually is slightly larger. And if you go to their 12-inch pan, their keyhole is too big and causes the rod won't lock in.
Yeah.
So there is a Goldilocks sort of just right approach. And the simplest answer, we followed Occam's razor a lot when we were working on this in the very beginning. It was like, people would be like, well, could you do this and bend that and make this? We'd be like, it's too complicated. Like, it just needs to be simple. Like, the simplest answer is going to be the best answer. And when we really, I mean, it is like, honestly, it doesn't get a lot simpler than this.
Correct.
And it works.
But let's make it complicated if at all possible.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I realize it's not super pretty or super sexy, but you tell me what rotisserie tool looks like some fancy retail product.
It looks good. It looks good before you hit the start button, and then after the cook, I mean, it looks like every other thing with grease splattered on it.
You got black stuff, and
it's got character.
It gets used. So patina is what they say.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how, that's our nuts and bolts. Like, that's what we do. And Steve Ray has been an absolute evangelist.
Yes.
And the guy that introduced us, and he found us through, I think, one of our Facebook ads where, I'm new to this whole trying to teach people how to do things in the social media realm. And, we're doing our best. And the number one comment that I would read is, it looks like beer can chicken. And it always frustrates me because it highlights how people don't understand how heat actually moves through something. The beer can is the most ridiculous thing in the world because you've got a thing with liquid that's robbing your bird of all of that essential heat. When you hang it on our rod or even on a rotisserie, you have an open cavity that is free for hot air to move through. And if you were to put your bird in a pot of hot cooking oil, all of that hot oil, which is a fluid, would move through the cavity of the bird, and it would help cook the bird from the inside out and the outside in.
Yep.
And air, by definition in physics, is a fluid. So fluid dynamics rule in convection heat transfer. That, to me, is one of the biggest reasons why this works the way it works. If you do anything to alter, like the pan or
don't fill
whatever
it with
you put
broth or apple juice or any nonsense. Just leave it dry.
just let it be dry. And
Go
if
against
you
your
really
human
want to
nature.
use if you want to use the drippings, then you can't cook it quite as hot because you'll burn those drippings.
Yeah.
But you can still do it. Take the bird off when it hits its thermal finish line and use the drippings to cook up. I've done par cooked rice. Like that's been pretty good. Like you can buy frozen in the frozen food section, rice already. You just steam it in the microwave, throw that in the pan, saute it up. It's almost like having a cheat risotto or something.
Yeah.
Cooked in the chicken fat, and it's quite good. I've done potatoes, like just roasted potatoes.
Sure.
We've done. I par cooked a medley of vegetables like squash and potatoes and some other stuff. And then as it's par cooked, after I take the chicken off, sauteed it up in the pan, and they were delicious. So there's ways to make it work, but you can't just assume you know how to do it.
Yeah.
Because this is different. This is not like any other tool you've used. It looks like it should be like every other tool you use because it's a piece of bent steel. But the method is what makes it work so well.
So I got a couple minutes left. A couple key questions here. Price point on the chicken version and the turkey version.
So the PoulTree perch we have available on our website at PoulTree.store for $29.99, and that's the same price on Amazon. I think there are times throughout the year that we run various discount code specials for like Father's Day or whatever. I'm not that's outside of my pay grade. I'm not sure how all of that works. And then the version that includes the stainless steel talon, which will work on virtually every pan, is $39.99, I believe. And then the turkey version is like $45 or $46 for just the rod. And all of these are scaled accordingly to the cost of the steel and the manufacturing process. We make the rods in the United States, and we have a couple manufacturers we've been working with that have been outstanding. And I think a lot of people have gotten used to the next day delivery of the ridiculously cheap product that was produced in insane quantities overseas by, who knows what the labor pool was. And that's just not reality. Like that's not how here in America business really gets done from a manufacturing standpoint. And I still think we have a very fair price. Like our initial price for the PoulTree rod actually is, I think it's $25. That includes a $5 T-handle reamer that you can use probably half or one time to try and clean out a hole and make it fit. And the rod itself, I think, the true retail price of the PoulTree rod is between $20 and $25. It's like some people on Reddit would say, you priced it at just the point that I don't want to try and make it myself.
Because anything more expensive, they're going to go ahead and try and build it themselves.
Well, yeah, I mean,
sure.
You can't just buy a 17-inch piece of stainless 3/8 rod. You got to buy like a 8-foot piece, and then you got to cut it, and then you got to bend it, and you got to bend it to the right angles. And if any one of the angles is off, the whole thing doesn't work. Like, we've already done all this research.
Yeah.
Just trust us. We know how to do it.
And
through Amazon or our store, you can buy it pretty easily.
What's the long-term vision for PoulTree? What do you see it in 3 years?
Oh boy!
Licensing. Do you hope Weber comes and buys you out for $8 million or what?
Yeah, we've had. You'll get 10% if that's the number.
Hey,
is that how?
Your words.
I think the 3 to 5 year vision right now is to get it to be a sustainable business that can generate cash flow to support itself, and ideally cover my costs, because I'm doing this right now. This is my job, and I'm not getting paid for it.
That's your full-time job?
This is it.
This is
what I'm doing. Yeah.
Wow.
And like that comes with some caveats. Like some days I like what I'm doing is filling orders, because not every order is fulfilled by Amazon or TikTok or whoever. We have certain, like if you order a pan, I have to go drill the pan out. Like we just ordered 6 more of the 12-inch pans from Amazon because we ran out for the gobbler version. So there are things that we're doing, and once or twice a week I try and do some videos that seem to be useful, helpful, or necessary to meet the demands for our TikTok or Facebook or Instagram posts.
Yeah. And probably a lot of it is using the reaming tool, right? Like, hey, dummy, you're not reading the directions. Watch this video instead.
Yeah, I realized this week I gotta do some more. Like, here's how I do it.
That should be released every week.
But
you should release it every week.
Yeah, it turns out I need to do a couple more on different pans and different shapes, different sizes. But I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about this. And I enjoyed your previous guests. I thought it was quite interesting to hear, I made it to the previous 2. So the mole conversation and the
Susie and Todd,
the new cookbook, publishing book. I know a little bit about that from my time with Modernist Cuisine. The whole self-publishing thing is it's an interesting way to go. And she was right. You get a lot better control over its distribution. I thought it was great. So good job on the content tonight.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
That was nice.
Thank you. So if you are looking for a new and great way to cook poultry, chickens, and turkeys and all that, and perhaps a rib roast, as we've just found out Steve Ray is jammed onto that thing and is cooked to perfection with a drill, of course, then head on over to Toney's website, thepoultree.store, and grab one for yourself, grab one for a neighbor, and watch them sing your praises. Toney, again, appreciate the time tonight and continued success.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks so much, and hope to talk to you again.
You got it. Toney Smith right there. PoulTree.store, PoulTree store. .store. PoulTree.store. And before we close it up, is it over? Oh, they lost by 11! How are you up by 20 and lose by 11? I mean, God, you guys suck. I didn't even watch the game, but I was watching them puke it away. I said it, didn't I say it? They're almost up by 20, but plenty of time to puke it away. And guess what? They puked it away. Got the double buzzer on that one. Fucking Cavs. Are you ready for a cigar experience built on history and passion? Let me tell you about McAuliffe Cigars, a partnership forged between Texas passion and a Cuban cigar-making dynasty whose heritage spans back to the 1930s. Whether you seek the nuanced elegance of the Migdalia or the complex power of the Leyenda, McAuliffe offers a symphony of flavor for every palate. And don't forget about their ever-expanding color series, an unmatched smoking experience coupled with an unmatched value. The white is actually on its way to me. There's also something called the number 2, which is on its way to me. I also have Herencia Habano coming. I'm very excited. Each cigar handcrafted in Esteli, Nicaragua by the legendary Gomez Sanchez family. McAuliffe delivers tradition, quality, and every draw. Taste the tradition. Visit McAuliffeCigars.com to find a retailer nearest you. McAuliffe spelled MICALLEF Cigars.com. That's McAuliffeCigars.com, and we're back to wrap the show right after this. Stick around. Be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. get back to a guy who has more experience giving you his opinion than he actually has cooking. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, we thank Tony Smith from the PoulTree. PoulTree.store. PoulTree.store if you'd like to grab one. As I had mentioned, the Cavs puked away. And here for instant reaction is none other than basketball breakdown artist, specialist, and expert. No, not Stephen A. Smith. Madison M. Rempe joining us here on the show. Hey, Maddie.
Hello.
All right, now give us the breakdown. I was only able to just scan as the show was happening. I saw we were up by almost 20 points. At some point, double digits through most of the fourth quarter. But as I said, end of third, going into the fourth. Hey, still plenty of time to puke away the lead to the New York basketball Knicks, and that's what happened in overtime. What happened exactly? Break it down.
And that's what happened. We had a 22-point lead with 7.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and it is one specific person's fault.
And
just
his
like
name
it always is. And his name is James Harden. He needs to be off the team by midnight tonight. Tonight. We pay him $40 million. He had a big 15 points tonight, shot 30% from the field, had 5 turnovers. Am I allowed to use expletives?
Yes, this is the internet.
He fucking sucks.
Oh my God.
He's old. He hasn't been good in years.
Can you suck more?
He is known for choking in the fucking playoffs.
Right.
And he just did it again. It's all his fault. And he's on the list. He's on my list.
Oh no.
He's number 1 on my list.
Soldier boy, turn away.
He's number 1 on my list. You know what else happened to people on my list?
Yeah,
Jason
Achilles.
Tatum. What happened to him? Achilles. Tyrese Halliburton. What happened to him? Achilles. They've been dealt with. But now James Harden. Someone on my own team.
Can't wait to see his Achilles pop day after tomorrow.
And honestly, shame on Kenny Atkinson for not taking him out sooner and for never calling a fucking timeout, because that was ridiculous, and I'm angry, and I got to go to bed.
All right. Maddie, the breakdown of the game, professional to say the least, and we wish you a fondue. Good night to Matt. All right. Well, there you have it. Expert basketball breakdown. You're not going to find that on Inside the NBA with the Chuckster or Stephen A. Smith or Mike Greenberg or Tony Rizzo, for that matter. Maddie May breaking down NBA playoff basketball. Eastern Conference Finals against the Knicks, where if you missed it, the Cavs puked away 22 points with 7.5 to go. Unforgivable. James Harden needs to be cut from this team. I don't even know what I'm talking about because I was doing a show for the last 2 hours. But if my daughter says that's the truth, I believe her. Hey, all the way back in the first hour, we had a Stephen Raichlen visit, and then after Stephen, we had a Emma Nguyen visit, who we've come to find out is a culinary expert and is a family of culinary experts. Preston Nguyen is her son. He won the final table at the World Food Championships a month ago or whatever. Remember that guy? He's the guy that Mike McLeod was talking about. First 2-time winner at World Food Championship. Preston Nguyen. He might be on the show in a couple weeks. Be on the lookout. Second hour, Susie and Todd. Bulloch, of course. Backyard barbecue hero is out. Go get it. Susie Bulloch right there. Closing it out with Tony Smith of the PoulTree. PoulTree.store. Get yours. Oh, man. I am not looking forward to the text from Jason Kaplan.
Hello?
No, I don't want it.
Hello?
No, I'm not picking up the phone.
Hello?
I will not answer it. I know he's being nice. If it were me, I'd be on the blower immediately. Your Knicks suck. Jason, a true gentleman.
Hello?
Hello? I'm not here. I'm never answering any questions about it. Please don't. All right, big show planned for you next week. 2 segments of Just Trials, embedded correspondence. How Do I Always Leave You? September 11, 2001. I will never forget. And until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American Greg Rempe saying, "Come on, come on!"
This is Chris Payne from Euclid, Ohio, and you are listening to Barbecue Central.